Hey everybody, good evening, and welcome to The Big News Show with me, your host, Ben Bailey. Welcome, guys. Episode number 6. We got a lot of fun stuff for you tonight. On the show tonight, of course, the lovely and talented Miss Emma Gleeson is here. You can see her. And between us, the lovely and talented Sparky the dog. Sparks, look up. Your name's on the screen, buddy. New guy Kieran's not here tonight. That's why Sparky's in. He's going to be handling technical stuff. Kieran is sick. Again, feel better, buddy. We're going to go live from Vic's Bar. I'm going to tell you about my weekend in St. Louis. We're going to see the wise old man on the mountain about some stuff. There's going to be some Ben's boxing, because I tend to fight myself a bit. Emma is going to share a story with us about a stress coach who has an interesting way of releasing his clients' angst. We're going to go to the local comedy club. We're going to do movie quotes. We're going to take a couple of viewer questions. We're going to look up at the camera, Sparky. We're going to do Sunday. Look, buddy, it's us. Yeah, and maybe some other stuff on this episode 6 of the Big News Show. Here we go. All right, here we are live from Vic's Bar that we sit at and discuss things like what happened over the weekend when I went to St. Louis. Had a great time. We're going to talk about that. We're going to go from here to all these other segments that we do. Hear about a stress coach.
Yes.
Who has an interesting way. I can't wait to hear what that is. An interesting way of releasing his clients' angst. I know where everybody's mind goes. I don't know if that's where.
I knew that was where yours
mine
was
didn't.
going.
I'm not saying mine went that way. I'm saying
it did.
I'm saying I think that's where everyone's goes.
Oh, really?
That's not necessarily based on where my mind may or may not have gone when you told me the news item.
You know what? Mine didn't go there until I heard the tone in your voice, and then I was like, I know what you're thinking.
I don't know where else it could go.
Okay. Well, you have to wait and see.
Okay. Well, I'm anxious. I'm anxious to.
Are you? Maybe you need a stress coach.
Maybe I do. Let's hear about the methods. But first, we're gonna get to this right away because last week we took a while and people were like, "Where's the freaking drive-by?" So we're gonna start off with the Cash Cab Drive-By, folks.
Okay, hon.
Cash Cab Drive-By, people. This is the portion of the program where you take a sip of your beverage, whatever it is you might be drinking. Might be beer, might be wine, might be whiskey, might be, I don't know, could be aloe vera juice, for all I know. But take a sip, and I'm having a sip of mine. And I'm drinking Stella. You guys know what I'm drinking. Feel free to groove a little bit in your seat, too, to this kind of kick-ass little vibe. Ooh. It's time for you to drink your drink. This is the Big News Show, episode number 6. We are live from Vic's Bar. Good to be back home. It was really nice to be out on the road again, but it's good to be back home as well. The
nice
travel.
To have you home, baby.
Thank you. The travel is, I'm a little rusty. And I forget just how not great it can be.
Yeah.
Like, we get to the airport on Thursday, and I hear I've checked the flight 17 times through the day, getting ready to go. On time. I get out of the car. Emma pulls away. I'm standing there at Newark Airport, taking my last mask-free breaths before I enter the realm. Flight delayed.
Is that when it happened?
Right then. As soon as I got out of the car and you were gone, it was like,
Why didn't you call me?
Well, because you're driving. I've just dumped you into Newark Airport traffic. What are you going to do? Do a lap and come back?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It's an hour anyway.
Aww.
We're going to drive home, say hi and bye to Sparky and go back.
We could have hung out somewhere, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It was too late. The moment was gone.
Yeah, I didn't see. I don't look at my phone while I'm driving.
Yeah.
Just when people know
which is
me.
better, and I know that. So I was just like, I'll stand here and take a few more breaths of fresh air.
Yeah. When I pulled the car into the garage and shut the door, picked up my phone and went, "Oh my God."
Oh, the flight's delayed again.
Your flight's delayed. And you sent me that message.
I was a little annoyed by the timing, but it's just the way it is. You have to just kind of give yourself over to it.
Yeah.
Once, as I said, you enter that realm, you're no longer in charge. You just got to go, all right,
True, yeah.
what am I going to do between now and then? I was like, you know what I'll do? I'm a member of the United Club, the exclusive United Club. I pay for it. I might as well go and enjoy it.
Yeah.
The line to get into the United Club was like the security line. I mean, there was a dozen people in
Wow.
line waiting to get checked and let into the club, and then the club was so packed. I'm like, I think there's more people in the United Club than there are out at, the regular, just out at the gate. So,
Yeah.
so I
That's
walked
crazy.
around. I did some exploring.
I don't think those clubs are so great here.
I don't think
Like,
it could be called exploring when I've covered every inch of that place like 100 times over. But I wandered around. Yeah, and sometimes sometimes they're better than others. The airline clubs, for sure.
I'm used to the Qantas clubs.
Well, so here's the difference.
Okay.
Those are international clubs. They have different clubs based on where you're traveling. If you're flying United out of Newark and you're flying international long haul trips, then you get and your business or first, then you get to use the Polaris Club,
Right.
which is a very different club.
Yeah.
That is actually a very exclusive club.
But that's what the domestic, like, Qantas clubs are like.
Yeah, the domestic clubs are nicer too, aren't they?
Yeah. But
I've never seen those. No, I'm just kidding. Only first class. I went into the Polaris Club. I was like, I'm a member of the other club. I just wanted to like have a look around. This is only for internet. And she was like, I'm sorry, sir, we can't like that. What if I took my mask off and you thought I was the dirty jobs guy? Then would you let me? But yeah, so I just killed some time and roamed around. I got a coffee and I just like, I did what I do. I started observing people.
Mm.
This is what I do anyway. It's why I am what I am as far as me being a comedian, is I just sort of take myself out of the general population in one way or another and just watch.
That must be easier for you at the moment with
the mask.
Yeah.
It makes a big difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm watching. There's these women in line at Starbucks, and they're all very heavy. I don't want to be mean, call them names or anything, but they're all really heavy. And then they get up to the thing, and they're waiting, and they get their drinks, and they each have these enormous, just pure sugar drinks.
With cream on top.
With cream, and I don't know what they were, but I mean, they look like milkshakes.
Yeah.
And the one of them was like, this is supposed to be a venti, which is like the biggest one,
Oh, yeah.
She only got like a giant, it only had 180 grams of sugar in it instead of 250 or, it was just like, man, oh man, oh man. That's just kind of the way of things. It seems so many people that just live that way. When I got to St. Louis, the guy driving me back, he said, "You sure you don't want to go to McDonald's or something?" And I was like, "I don't eat fast food." And he was like, like he just burst out laughing. He just thought it was a ridiculous, hilarious joke that I made that I don't eat fast food. And it's true. He's a super nice guy named Ronnie, by the way, very nice guy. A lot of buddies at the St. Louis Funny Bone in the staff. Everybody that works there has been there for a while, and a lot of the younger comics that hang around. Had a great time with those guys this weekend.
That's great.
Had a very similar experience coming out of the airport as to the one in Oklahoma City. I was not trapped inside the airport like I was in OKC, but it was similar in that when we got out onto the road, there was snow and ice all over the roads.
Right.
And same conversation. Well, it must have just snowed, huh? Nope. Oh, boy, here we go again. When did it snow? He's like, day before yesterday. I'm like, are they going to plow the roads? Nope. Another major city where it snows and they don't plow the roads.
Wow.
And they don't shovel, they don't clear the same exact thing, which was great. I got to open with it.
Yeah.
And it evolved a little bit, we had that same conversation. This is my opening bit, It's great to be back in St. Louis. I said, I haven't been here in 4 years. The first 2 were by choice. Second two, COVID kept me away. It's good to be back. I wish you guys would plow the fucking streets, though. Got a big laugh. They're all like, yeah, we don't do that. Same thing. It must just be a huge taxpayer savings.
I'm sure it is.
Because it's the same delusion. Like, they're like, but it's fine. It's totally fine. I'm like, really? Because it doesn't look fine. It looks like cars have crashed and continue to crash all around us, which they literally were.
Right. So a huge taxpayer savings, but you're going to be up for...
You're going to pay it in your insurance premiums.
Yeah.
Because everybody's crashing into each other and into the median and into the bridge abutment.
Oh, yeah.
Literally cars off the road smashed all over the place. And everybody's like, no, it's fine. It's totally fine. And then they said the same thing again. Oh, it'll probably be 65 again in a couple of days. It'll all melt. So I started saying, really, that's your plan for snow removal? Global warming? The guy's like, global warming's bullshit. I'm like, well, you better buy a fucking shovel then, dude. So that became my opener. But the adventure began way before I hit the stage. I had the car ride back, which is always a little bit harrowing. I'm a little bit of an uneasy passenger, as it is. I don't like to be riding. I like to be driving. I have control issues because I've been a driver for so long. Anyone that's a driver by trade will agree with me that you develop a sixth sense for the road and what people do and then if you're riding with people that don't have that in your mind because they weren't pro drivers for years and years and years and years, it makes you a little bit like you want to keep an eye on stuff for them, and it makes you backseat drive a little. It's hard not to do that.
I gotta say, babe, I feel like if you hadn't been a professional driver and then done cash cab, like, then you would still have that anyway.
I might.
You're just that kind of like
I have control issues, is what you're saying.
No, but I mean that sixth sense.
Like, the sixth sense.
Like, yeah. I feel it, and like you are riding with people who do this professionally, and presumably some of them are going to have been doing it for years, but I think some of them just never develop that.
Right,
they'll say, "Oh, yeah, I know, I've been doing this for however long."
Right.
But you're like, how are you so bad at this? I feel so unsafe with you.
It's pretty funny, too, because I'm, like, trying not to let them know that they're scaring the shit out of me. It's like I'm being polite. I'm fearing for my life, but I'm being polite.
Right.
I'm like, this could be the end of me, but I don't want to be rude. It's ridiculous.
I wouldn't want to put them out.
This poor guy that I think is probably going to kill both of us if I don't say something.
I don't want to make him feel badly about it.
When we die, I want him to, feel good about his driving as we go off.
All the way up until the moment before our deaths.
Well, I want him to feel confident that he's doing a good job. I don't want to offend him in any way.
Wow. Politeness is crazy, hey?
Yeah. It's crazy to be polite in situations where, you shouldn't be. You should be saying, okay, this has made me think of a couple of different things.
Okay.
For one, when we were shooting They're Made Out of Meat.
Yeah. Which
is a short film. For those of you that are unaware, it's a short film that I'm in. That was a student film, but it's based on a sci-fi short story by a guy named Terry Bisson called They're Made Out of Meat. Student director, and got a few people in it that were of note, and got a little budget, and he did a great job. It's awesome. But so on the final.
Yeah, it has a bit of a cult following.
It does, yeah. People seem to really like it. And there's been a whole bunch of other student films of that since. You could watch a bunch of different renditions of it on YouTube.
Yeah.
But there's only one that's good. Just kidding. Some of them are really good. But we're going home from the last day of shooting.
Mm.
And so I'm sharing car service back into Manhattan from Staten Island with Tom Noonan, actor Tom Noonan. One of the few people I've ever worked with in any capacity. He was taller than I am. And he was mean. He was not nice. He was not nice to the people that were on the shoot. He just was he was a dick. I'm going to be honest. He was a little bit of a dick. And if he's at home listening to that, he'd be like, yeah, I know, I'm a dick, because he's like, he embraces it. But But I, being a seasoned stand-up comedian, didn't put up with his shit. And if he heckled me, I gave it right back. And,
Yeah.
and for that reason, he like opened up to me a little bit in that sort of weird, dysfunctional sort of way that happens, you know.
Interesting.
But so, and he's not a guy who doesn't say what he's thinking. And we're on the way back to the city, and it starts downpouring. And we're in the back of this Lincoln Town car, and the driver is going like 80 in the pouring rain, and he's like 10 feet from a truck
Oh, God.
in front of us. I mean, he's right on the back. And just as I'm sitting there with my inner conflict going, I should be saying something. Why am I being polite?
Yeah.
Noonan goes, could you get any closer to that fucking truck? And the guy's like, he's like, I don't care what you were doing. You're scaring the shit out of me. Back off a little bit. And I was just like, yes, it's good to have a dude like that in your corner when I'm over here like, I don't want to be rude. He's like, back the fuck off. You're going to kill us. You know, it was great. It was a great moment.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so
Oh, wow.
speak up. If you're in a car with someone and you think they're putting you in danger, don't be polite.
Well, I was
Say
in,
something.
yeah.
You're not being rude. They're being rude. They're risking your life, literally.
Yeah. I was in a taxi once, coming home from.
Was it the cash cab?
It was not.
Okay.
I was going, living in the city in a taxi with my ex-boyfriend, and we were going home from being out somewhere, and
She just said ex-boyfriend, you guys. Can you believe that? Blowing it up, babe.
Anyway, we were way uptown.
Say that again.
We were way uptown,
Mm-hmm.
and we drove, and we were in the cab traveling. Oh, Sparky Owl.
I think it's coming through.
I think it is too.
I don't know if you guys can hear it, but Barkley is howling his head off right now.
He's back upstairs.
He's back upstairs. We brought him in for the open, as you must have
as you will
noticed.
have seen.
His debut. So many people requested that they actually get to see Sparky that we decided to put him in the open of the show.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed that. Now he's howling, which means we're supposed to play this. This just in. We interrupt tonight's broadcast to bring you this information. Sparky the dog is currently howling and feeling lonely in one of the upstairs rooms. That's it. That's the whole news report.
He was so happy to be on the show. He was like really happy.
He
when I
was.
took him back upstaiars.
And he's howled twice since he's been back up there. He's just like, I
looked very
can't believe I
proud.
finally made it onto the show
I
after all these years.
And the first one, right after I came back down and got myself settled here and we were ready to go, oh my goodness, that was the loudest and longest and most mournful I've heard. So everybody's right. Sparky needs to be part of the show. He wants to be part of the show.
Sparky really wants to be part of the show, and he is a part of the show.
Yeah.
Just not in the capacity that he wants. He begs and begs and begs for his own segments every week. He might be begging for table scraps. I'm not sure, but he begs anyway. So yeah, I went to St. Louis.
Oh, I was telling my story.
Oh right, you're in the middle of your story before you were rudely interrupted by the howling Sparklebark.
Yeah, so we were all the way uptown, getting in a cab
Right.
to go back downtown,
Mhm.
and this cab driver, or we at least had to go a fair way. He, in my mind, was on some drugs that made him feel very sped up, and like he was driving so fast. I've never been gone so fast in the city,
Wow.
and just like he was playing Frogger, like through the traffic,
Just jumping around.
weaving all over the place.
Was he a young guy or an
and-
older guy?
Not.
Because it used to be that way in New York.
Yeah.
Go back, 25 years. You get in a cab and like you're off you go. They're gonna get you there as quick as they can, and they're like,
Yeah.
it was a little bit of a free for all. I used to love driving that way in Manhattan.
I've been in cabs where, like, definitely with the older guys and stuff that were very keen and very focused. But this guy, I was like,
you were
he is
terrified. Oh,
going to kill us. We are getting out of this cab. And Dave's like, no, it's fine. And I was like, no. I tell him to stop. I want to get out, and he wouldn't. And I think I was taken aback by that. I was like,
Right.
this is not worth it. It's
Yeah, what are we risking this for?
yeah. Yeah.
We're just going to get a coffee.
I was happy to walk. Get out and get in another cab. I didn't care, and I thought he would have been with me, but yeah, no, he was the one being like too polite. Didn't want to say anything to him, or maybe told me
Right.
to slow down. But often when you tell people, like I've been in cars where you tell someone because they're making you so uncomfortable because they're driving too close to the vehicle in front of you. If they're a friend,
that's what usually gets me. It's like you're not going to be able to stop.
and you ask them to back off, even if they're capable of taking it on board and doing it, they just go straight back to it again.
They do.
Yeah.
And then the thing that kills me the most is if they're,
Oh, Papa.
oh, he's howling again, the poor guy. He is howling wolf tonight.
Wow. He really wants to be part of the show.
And he is. We can hear him
He's like,
loud and clear.
I did my work. Now feed me. Pay me.
And again, I forgot. He interrupts. He's very rude.
He really does. Oh, gosh, what were you saying? I was talking about the following too close.
If they're following another car too closely while you're in the passenger seat, and they're also talking to you at the same time, so they're flying way too fast, and they're turning to look at you and talk to you. You're like, keep your eyes on the road. I had one friend who's actually trying to show me his videos on YouTube while he was driving a car in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And was all offended that I didn't want to watch. I'm like,
well, one of us has to watch the road.
yeah, I'd rather survive the trip.
Yeah.
I had a woman driving me in L.A. once. Car service picks me up at the hotel, taking me to LAX, and she's just like every slowdown is a hard brake. Every time we get moving, she stomps on the gas.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm trying to be polite, but I'm like, have you been driving long? You know. She's like, oh yeah, 26 years. I'm like, wow.
Imagine the gas.
And I'm just like, so then a little more conversation, you know. Eventually, she reveals to me that she's been driving for 26 years, but she's only been driving limousines for like 2 months. So, and the whole time before that, she was driving an ambulance. That makes total sense.
Oh my God.
Don't take me to the hospital by accident, you know, out of habit.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's the one time, like, it makes sense. Don't worry about your
no
gas
wonder she drives like a maniac.
Don't worry. Like, those
she's trying to save people's
2
lives. Yeah.
might make a difference. Like, hit the gas, take off fast.
Oh,
Wow.
man. But so I had some adventure in St. Louis. I got to the hotel, and hotels have been kind of crazy since coming back after COVID. Like, none of them seem to have enough staff. Everybody's been working a long, long shift. And sometimes what happens is what happened when I walked into the hotel in St. Louis. I walked in and I went up to the desk, and there was no one at the desk. And I waited and waited and waited for a while. There's no one at the desk. There's no one at the bar.
Wow.
There's no one in the restaurant. I was like, wow. I guess maybe I should just pick a room. Like, you know, like, who's running this joint?
Get yourself some
Nobody.
food,
Nobody.
Get a drink, sit down.
So I'm like, I'll go over to Starbucks and get a coffee. So I walk over to Starbucks. It's closed. And I come back, and there's still no one at the desk, but there's a couple of notes at the desk from other guests left for the person at the desk. So they've come and given up and left already, you know, since I was there.
Wow.
And finally, I see someone over. I think I saw the woman at the bar. Eventually, somebody came back to the desk, and I had gone exploring again and found a new gym in the complex, which was awesome, which made a big difference in my trip.
Nice.
But so yeah, I came back. I check in. I go up to my room up on the 12th floor, and the elevator door opens, and it smells like someone died in one of the rooms on the 12th floor in the elevator lobby there. And I look, and there's a garbage bag from like a wings place that's been sitting there. I'm like, oh, I think that's the smell. And this hotel, by the way, they spray some kind of perfume smell in the lobby, like a lot. And when you first walk in, you're like, this is kind of a nice, 3 days in, you're like, if I smell that again, I'm going to throw myself from, like, I can't take the smell. That's strong smell anymore.
Too much.
I can't imagine working in that environment and smelling that all day for these super long shifts. They just must be, immune to it. But so it kind of smells like someone murdered a small animal with perfume on the top floor of the hotel. And I'm like, I'm going to call down to the desk. So I call down the desk. Hey, the remote control doesn't work. I need a new remote. And it smells awful. Just so you know, on the whole 12th floor, smells like someone died in a room. I think it's some garbage. Okay. I come and go a handful of times. I go back downstairs. I go and order some food. I go back, like nothing. Eventually, a few hours have gone by, and the garbage is still there. So I finally realized what I needed to do to get the garbage taken out.
And were you smelling it in your room?
My room, I had put a towel under the door.
Wow.
To keep the perfume and rotting flesh smell from the it was pretty bad.
God.
And I was trying to open the windows, but they're drilled shut.
Oh, shit.
I was like, oh my God, like I've been back on the road for like not very long. And I'm like, oh, this is not great. No room service. You have to go get your food from the bar. So I called down and I'm like, yeah, can you connect me with the bar so I could order my food? They don't have a phone. It's the second hotel now that they don't have a phone at the bar, which is the only place to get food. So you have to go to the bar, order the food, eat it there, or take it with you, right? So I'm up and down a bunch. I'm trying to get stuff sorted with the room. I go into the club because I'm on the club level, and there's like a club where you can go, and there's an espresso machine in there, which actually makes pretty good espresso, but the water tank needs to be filled. And then I look, and there's just like half full coffee mugs everywhere. Like no one's been in that club for like weeks. I'm like, all right, man. It's like a ghost town. Like this is crazy. So then you and I connect, and I'm telling you, the adventures thus far. And then Emma and I say goodnight. And I'm like, I'm going to go down to the gym and just get my heart rate up for 10 minutes. And it's going to help with all this travel and all this crap. And I'm just going to feel better. And
I think before we did, I left you. You had a bag of garbage.
Oh, right. That was the answer to how the garbage got taken care of.
Yeah.
I took the garbage out. And then it didn't smell anymore. It's amazing. But so that was earlier. That was before I spoke to you. Yeah, I forgot to mention that part. Right. I took the garbage out. You were with me when I walked outside. And then I went out. I had to go out to CVS because I didn't have everything I needed because I haven't been on the road that much. And like I said, I'm rusty. So I was in and out a whole bunch of times, up and down in the elevator. When I came back from one of them and I got to the top of the elevator ride, it kind of made this like scraping sound at the top. And I was like, that doesn't sound right.
That's disconcerting.
I was like, I'm going to make a note. I'm going to let them know. And then I'm like, why? They're going to be like, okay, let me put that. That's number 175 on my list of stuff that I'm never going to get to because I'm the only one working here, and there's usually 8-10 people. But so I'm just guessing at that. But so I go back to the elevator. I push the button. The door opens. The same one, the one all the way to the left of the three. And as I'm getting in, I'm thinking, I heard that noise in here before. Maybe this isn't a great idea. And I get in, and I push the lobby button, and it lights up, and the door closes, and nothing happens. Elevator stays right where it is. And I'm like, all right, it's only been 5 seconds. But I didn't notice it first. You push the button, the door closes, you kind of tune out.
Right.
That's why you often get off at the wrong floor, just whenever the door opens the next time. Mm-hmm. Which I've done. People do it every time I use elevators. going up? You're like, yep. And then you're like, oh, no, sorry, we're actually going down. I thought we were going up. All these little elevator faux pas, right? I get in, doors close. I'm not thinking anything about it. Half a minute goes by. I'm like, oh, we didn't go anywhere. Maybe I didn't push the button.
Mm-hmm.
I look, no, lobby's lit up. L. Oh, I did push the button. Great. Let me see if I can open the door and get out. Door open, lights up as it's depressed, but doesn't stay lit up and does not. It would never stay lit up, I guess, anyway. It would just open the door. Maybe it wouldn't even normally light up.
I think it light up.
Yeah, but so I push it, and like all the buttons at this point, it lights up when I have the button depressed, but doesn't stay lit, any of them. So I push the door open button, the door doesn't open. I push the door close button, and it does that little, like, opens a little and shuts again, and the whole thing kind of moves a little. I'm like, okay,
Like the
now I start
elevator
thinking,
jolt.
yeah, just a little bit as the doors kind of open and shut again.
Right.
But just like a quarter of an inch, And at that point, it kind of dawns on me that I'm 100 feet off the ground or more. And I'm like, all right, it's fine. There's no reason to think it's not moving. That's maybe an electronic malfunction.
Right.
There's no reason to think that a cable's going to snap and I'm going to fall, I'm like, so what do I do? Stay cool. Just stay cool. I'm not saying that out loud yet, but I'm thinking it.
Oh, God.
So I push 11. I'm like, let's see if I can get one floor down and the thing will let me out. I push 11, lights up, light goes out, doesn't move. And I'm standing there trying to think of what I should do next. Should I grab the emergency phone? Should I be ringing the bell?
Oh, God. I know I would
I'm like, not yet. It's only been 2, maybe 3 minutes. Maybe 4, I don't know how long it's been. I'm starting to lose track of how long it's been because I'm starting to.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not doing that yet.
Time speeds up for you.
However long it's been, I'm not ready to push the panic button yet. Just as I'm thinking that, the elevator decides we're going to 10 and we're going quick. And it just goes, whoom, and goes down. It didn't drop, but it went pretty fast.
Wow.
And it went at the bottom when we were on level 10, it went. And now I'm like almost seated on the floor of the elevator. My heart is pounding. I'm holding on to the railing on the side and in the back, thinking I'm just about, okay, that's it. Here we go.
Oh, God.
And then I'm like, all right, no, get up. Pull yourself together. You came down 2 floors. Maybe I think I'm on 10. Nothing's lighting up. It's still just the lobby button. But I think the little number above the door says 10 at this point. I'm like, what should I do? What should I do? I'm like, I'm going to start ringing the bell. It's time to start ringing the bell. I start ringing the bell. Almost immediately, I hear what I think is another elevator going up. One of the ones next to me. So I think it goes up and it goes past me. I'm like, well, that one's working, it seems like. I'm like, all right, enough's enough. I'm going to pick up the phone. I pick up the phone, and the little emergency phone, and I pull it out of the thing. It's like a phone it's like an Bell Labs phone from the 70s. Like, it weighs a ton, and it's got the curly Q cord.
Nice.
And it's brown, like round, what was like considered a really cool new phone in 1974.
Picturing it as red. That phone has to be red to me.
It was brown. And so I pick it up, and a woman answers. I can't remember what she said. Front desk, I think. And I said, I'm trying not to freak out. I'm stuck in the elevator. I'm on the 11th floor, and I'm stuck in the elevator. I know I said 11 because I came from 12, and now I'm on 10, but I said I'm on 11. I'm stuck in the elevator. I'm on the 11th floor, and she goes, we don't have an 11th floor, sir. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. It turns out she's at the sister hotel across the complex. For some reason, if you pull the phone, the emergency phone in the elevator at this one, you get the front desk at the other one on the other side. So she's at what's called the Chalet Hotel.
Right.
And I said, I'm not at the Chalet. I'm at the regular Sheraton. She's like, okay. I'm going to get somebody over there right away. I'm like, I don't really want to hang up. And she's like, okay, I'll stay on the phone with you. I'm like, okay, great.
God.
Okay, yeah, let's stay on the phone until we figure something out. no sooner do I say that, I hear this noise. It's like this crazy noise, which is the other elevator going by, feeding back somehow through the phone.
Oh.
And I go, I'm actually going to hang up. There's this horrible noise. And she goes, I know, I hear it. And I hang up.
Oh, God.
And I yell to the other elevator. I go, I'm stuck in the elevator. Help. I'm stuck in the other elevator. And I hear this, we're stuck too. I'm like, oh, my God.
Oh, God.
Now I'm like, I don't know how long it's been. I know it's
geez.
easily been 10 minutes. It might be closer to 15. I don't know. I've been in there a while, and I'm trying to stay cool. I'm trying. I have, at this point, looked up at the ceiling. I'm praying aloud. I'm asking for help aloud at this point. And I'm thinking about pulling the panel off the ceiling and climbing out of the fucking thing.
Jesus.
Which would be terribly dangerous. Like, what if it started going again?
Yeah.
I get smashed on the top of the thing.
Jesus, babe. God.
But that's what you start thinking. I'm like,
of
I'll just
course.
lie down.
Of course.
I'll lie down on the floor. And then if it drops, I'll just like hover safely in the middle. I was joking about your inkling that you could like somehow jump and save yourself.
Right.
And one of the younger comics at the club was saying, oh, there's an old Cosby bit, which I had never heard. Apparently Cosby has a funny bit about that. You get stuck in an elevator, you think you'll jump and save your life. But then they open the elevator, they're like, everybody's dead. 4 of them on the floor and one of them with his head through the ceiling.
Oh, my God. I think I have heard that bit.
Oh, my God. It made me laugh so hard. All right, well, the guy is funny. There's no question he's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Among his other...
And he was very prolific.
one of them with his head through the ceiling.
Wow.
But so, now I'm still on the 10th floor. I know there's people stuck in the other one. I think maybe I have some faith that the woman that I connected with at the desk of the other hotel is going to do what she needs to do, which is call the cops or the fire department or the elevator guys that are on call. I used to know a guy who was an elevator guy, and they were on call. Like, if they got a call, they had to go at any hour of any day because there were people stuck in a fucking elevator somewhere.
Yeah.
Who were shitting themselves.
Yeah.
with good reason. So
that's interesting. What a job.
Right? Yeah, it's a really interesting job. I'm sure they have crazy stories, those guys.
Yeah.
But so then I'm standing there and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna focus my mind before I touch this button. And I'm gonna put everything that I can pull into this finger, and I'm gonna push this button for. I didn't know which button yet. And I'm kind of closing my eyes. I'm trying to muster. And I'm like, and I push the 10 is what I decide on, kind of as I'm flying in. Nothing happens.
Oh, God.
And about 30 seconds later, the fucking door opens. Just opened by itself. Don't know why, don't know how. And I threw myself through and sat down on this ottoman thing.
Oh, God.
And I was just like, oh,
babe.
Holy shit. I was sitting there for a little bit, just calming down, you know? And I'm like, all right, kind of calm down. I'm like, what should I do? I should go down to the desk and tell them. Call down to the desk, but there's no courtesy phone. Go down to the desk or call down to the desk and let them know that I'm not stuck in the elevator anymore.
Yeah.
So I hoof it down the steps. My first, as soon as I thought that, I started to go to push the elevator button. Just out of habit, I'm standing in front of the elevators, and I was like, no, dummy, you're taking the stairs. So I went around, I hoofed it down the steps. I get to the lobby, and I'm like, hi, I'm not stuck in the elevator anymore. Like, how do I describe the situation? This isn't the woman that I spoke to. You know, she's at the other desk.
She goes, oh, I'm glad to hear it. I'm like, good. She's like, well, there was a woman. So you were in the one. I was like, yep, I was in the one.
Didn't you tell me when you called me that she said, oh, but there's another person stuck?
Yeah. She said the woman who was stuck in the other one is out too. And I think there might have been a third person. I don't know if there were two people in one elevator and me in the other.
I thought they thought that you were like, oh, that's great, but there's a man stuck up on the 10th floor. He calls us on the phone. Like,
Right. Yeah. Yes. You're right. Yeah. And then I said, no, that's me. I'm that guy. I'm out. She said, how'd you get out? I was like, the door opened and I walked out. Okay, great. She goes, well, I'll have to tell the fire department because they'll be here any minute. I think they're actually pulling up right now. Okay. So the door opens to the lobby and in walk two cops. I'm like, all right, it's not the fire department. And then behind them, 8 guys, firemen,
right.
guy with a crazy looking tool, looked like a big spear with some kind of hook on the end of it, and
wow.
ropes and carabiners. And I was like, holy shit.
Jesus.
These guys have a protocol. If people are stuck
Wow.
in an elevator, this is what they do,
You
And they
got
come
off
in
easy.
and the guy who's got all the gear is obviously that specialist, and he's just like looking at me like he was asleep like 8 minutes ago. He was sound asleep somewhere.
Right.
It's what I got from him. But so the cops come in, and I go, I'm standing here in the lobby. I might as well just, instead of telling her what to tell, I'll just talk to the cops. So I go, hey, I'm the guy that was stuck in the elevator. I am out. Apparently there was a woman stuck in the elevator too. She's out, and I think there might have been 2 people in that one, or maybe one person in the other one, but no one is stuck in any elevators anymore. And the cops looking at me like, I'm like, oh shit. I wasn't thinking. I didn't have a mask on. I wasn't thinking about being recognized. And he goes, holy shit, are you the guy from Cash? He goes, Ben fucking Bailey, man. This is crazy. I'm like, it is crazy. I was just stuck in an elevator. And he's like, he literally corrects me. He's like, no, it's crazy because I don't normally come on these calls, but we just happen to be right near the. Like, that's not what's crazy.
I'm still shaking like a leaf.
I go,
fearing for my life.
He goes, can we take a picture? I'm like, I don't really want to take a picture right now. I was just trapped in an elevator for about 15 minutes, and I thought I was going to die for part of it. So, and he's like, he just kind of nods. And then the firemen start asking me questions about what was, what happened, how were the elevators behaving, and they're watching them. So by the time, so what happened next is they left, and then they're waiting at the desk for the elevator repair guys to come, and
Who's waiting at the desk?
the
cops left.
The cops have left. The firemen are still there. They're waiting to talk to the elevator guy. The woman who's at the front desk now, a woman named Pamela, who was like awesome to me, really took care of me, and myself. And she goes, help yourself to whatever you want from from this little spot. She's like, your room is comped for tonight. First she goes, I'm going to comp your room. I'm like, great. And she's like, for tonight. I'm like, oh. Which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for free, for freebies, but so she was really good. And then I'm about to head back up, and I'm like, it dawns on me then, I got to climb up 12 flights to get back to my room. And she sees the look on my face, and she goes, why don't I move you to a suite on the first floor? I'm like, that's a great idea. So she's like, I think I have one. I just want to go take a look at it. I'm like, well, I'm walking up anyway. So we walk up together. She shows me the new suite. I'm like, yep. I hoof it all the way back up to 12, pack up all my stuff. It doesn't stink on 12 anymore. Someone took the garbage out.
That made the difference, hey?
It did, yeah. It was all that like somebody's wing bones and meat. By the way, I ran into another guy in the elevator one of the times before that, and we got out on the 12th floor, and I was like, smells great up here, huh? And he's like, what? I'm like, it smells awful. Don't you smell that? And he's like, oh, I hadn't noticed. I'm like, oh my God, I think the guy has COVID. He can't, if you can't smell that.
No, who's
Sparky is
blind?
howling again. He so wants to be a part of tonight's program.
You're talking about chicken bones.
You're right. One of his favorite topics of all. But so they moved me to a suite on the first floor. They gave me free breakfast and like all these vouchers to sit at the bar and it worked out fine. And I actually did get a little bit of sleep. At that point, I was like, my phone didn't reset for the new time zone. Remember, we were on the phone. I'm like, there's no way St. Louis is in the Eastern, but my phone hasn't changed. I had to go in and do it manually for some reason. So I gained an hour of sleep. I thought I was going to get 4, and I actually had 5 before I had to get up and do the morning shows and stuff,
Thank goodness.
which was great. That was a nice little boost to morale, which was much needed at that point. Yeah, and that was just the first night of my trip to St. Louis. So it is always an adventure out there. We'll be right back with more Live at Vic's.
You know, I totally forgot what I was going to say. I had something good. I was coming up here. I really was feeling it that time, but I know I come up here and you expect something and then I'm not that, but this time I had something. I was like, you know what? I think I got some old guy stuff. Like I have something that goes with the eyebrows to say to these guys. Like I got something to say. I got some wisdom. I got some old man on the hill wisdom. And then I got up here and I just blanked. You know what I mean? When you just totally blank, like you knew, like a minute ago, you knew what you're gonna say, and then you get here and you're in it, and you got nothing. That's what I'm saying to you guys today. I got nothing. I had something, and I got nothing now. Like I know it's a sad story. I had something, now I have nothing, and I can't share it with you. But you know what? You know what's gonna happen? It's gonna come back to me as soon as I leave here. It's gonna pop right back into my head, and as soon as it does, I'll tell you what. I'll come back. I'll run right back up here. I'll run all the way back up the mountain here, and I'll tell you then. Okay, is that all right? I know. I'm sorry. This is very disappointing. People see me up here. They have high expectations. I'm not that smart, really, and I'm very forgetful. I don't remember what I was gonna say. If I think of it, I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
Here we are back at the bar, live from Vic's. I always say live at Vic's on the out. Before this, right before the wise old man, I said live at Vic's. I like the name live from Vic's more than live at Vic's. But for some reason, I just always go live at Vic's. We're live at Vic's, which we are. We're live from Vic's. We're live at Vic's. As I've mentioned in the past, love to have a sponsor for that section. Stella, can you hear me? One of the girls that works at the club in St. Louis was actually saying Stella's going to be brewed in the U.S. now. U.S. Stella is going to be brewed in the U.S. now. And I was like, oh, do you work with them? And she was like, I'm connected. Anheuser-Busch is in St. Louis. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. But so we might have a connection. There's another comic TV host guy that I know and like. Good guy who does stuff with Stella. So I'm going to hit him up and be like, yo, connect me, hook me up with your Stella hookup, and maybe we'll get some sponsorship for live from Vic's. But for now, we're going to take a viewer question, everybody.
Okay.
What will it be? It's viewer questions. It's the segment of the show where we take questions from viewers and we answer them. We don't just take them. We answer them. And now here with our first viewer question of the day, the lovely and talented Miss Emma Gleeson.
G'day. All right. Well,
G'day. Hello.
Well, this viewer question is for you.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like you should be up alongside me.
Well, I was like, you want me to come over there?
No. No, just be on the screen.
Yeah, you think it should go to both of us? Yeah, I was gonna switch it back to both of us. She's giving me camera cues now, everybody. You just feel self-conscious being on there all by yourself, don't you?
No, I just know what your reactions are like. I like your faces are half of the show.
My faces are half of the show?
Yeah.
Well,
Mine
I
are
think
the
they're
other half.
2/3 of a stand-up performance.
Yeah.
All right, I'll switch over.
All right. Okay, so this is from Connor McLaughlin.
Good old Connor McLaughlin
Mm-hmm.
claims that he told us it was the software early on, but I never saw that in the comments, Connor. In the comments. And thanks for your help either way. Glad we got that sorted. So what's Connor McLaughlin? He sounds like a prize fighter, hockey player, folk singer.
Wow.
That's just two Connors and Sarah McLaughlin combined.
What do you get if you combine two Connors and a Sarah McLaughlin?
Connor McLaughlin, what's your question, sir? His question is, why don't you listen to me, Ben Bailey?
It's after one of the games were done, I believe he means Cash Cab, did you ever go have a drink with the contestants?
After the games were done, did I ever go have a drink with contestants on Cash Cab? I can only assume he means on Cash Cab.
Yeah.
Not Who's Still Standing, because when the games were done, they had fallen through the floor. And when their games are done in the cab, they're not always there either. But no, I never did, honestly. And maybe that's a little bit hard to believe, but I never went out and had drinks with contestants from Cash Cab. Mostly because, I have to drive. I have to drive the cab, so
yeah,
I couldn't really take a break and go have beers with people. Once or twice when we finished up for the day, we were at a bar and some of us went in and had a couple of beers with people who were. So I guess we kind of did.
Yeah.
But often it didn't. That's maybe once or twice ever, because whenever it was like nighttime and we were done and we were at a bar and we would have wanted to maybe go in and have a drink or two. We couldn't because everybody knew that the Cash Cab was out front. Everyone was going crazy. Like we got swarmed. It got to a point repeatedly where word was around town that we were filming, and then when we dropped people off somewhere, we would just get swarmed, like surrounded. At one point, on several different occasions, it got to the point where there was people surrounding the cab and rocking it back and forth while I was sitting in it, and
Jesus.
I was just like, this is insane. I wish we were rolling on this right now. We're not. I wish we were. But so what would happen is that people would finish, they'd go into the bar at the end, be celebrating. We'd have our camera guy getting that exterior, and then word would spread through the bar, and then everyone would pour out in the street to take a look.
And normally there'd be a lot of resetting and everything after the game's done, right?
Yeah, like we'd be shut down usually by that point. So we didn't get any of that stuff.
But there's a lot of production stuff to do, so you guys would just do it right there.
We would, unless in those cases we would have to get out of there before we could.
Yeah, you'd have to.
So if that ever happens to you, not that you'll be in the Cash Cab, but you just drive slowly. If you need to get out of that situation, you just start moving ahead slowly.
Oh, right.
And then people get out of your way.
If you're in the situation where people are rocking you back and forth.
Yeah, where people are like surrounding you when you're on the road.
In a vehicle. God.
Yeah. And there's a call coming through. It's my manager who knows that we're taping the show right now.
We don't mind if you take the call.
I'm not taking a call on the air, but I'm going to tell him to stop calling. He might have some important news. I don't know what it could possibly be, but
he wants to buy a T-shirt.
Yeah, he wants to buy a T-shirt that will kill his life. I'm glad you said that because we should take a look. We should show people the Shopify store, which we can do by flipping things around. We don't have Kieran here to scroll through, but guys, you can tell already if you're looking that things have been updated and upgraded. There are new Sparkle Bark hoodies in many different colors.
Oh, I like in gray.
Yeah, the gray, there's green, there's blue. We've already sold a couple of Sparkle Bark hoodies. I think they're going to be a big item.
Yeah.
Spring fashion. Everybody's going to be wearing Sparkle Barks. The big new show hoodies are upgraded. We got a bunch of new colors on that.
Nice.
The big new show T-shirts are still black and white. If I could scroll down, you'd see that there's your T-shirt killed my life. T-shirts in many different colors with different colored print. So they go, and the hats are the same. We have new colors. We have the underwear for Kowalski. We've got a bottle opener. Somebody asked for a bottle opener last week, so
Yep.
there it is.
They did.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Oh, you found one?
I found one. It's
That's-
right there. It's the bottom left is the bottle opener. It looks like a big bottle cap.
Oh,
It's
those
pretty
are
cool, actually.
Those are cool.
So yeah, keep in mind, guys, if you buy stuff from the Shopify store, percentage of the proceeds go to Share Our Strength. That is the way we're continuing to make our donations to help people who are hungry right here in the U.S. of A. As soon as tomorrow. If you buy something from the store, 10% on some. It's not the same on all the items, but at least 10% will go to them. The rest will go to us, and the goods will come to you.
Nice.
It's up and running. We've got a bunch of stuff coming within the next couple of weeks here on the show. I'm going to have merchandise, so we'll be able to show you guys the big new show mugs and T-shirts and
that's
hats and all that
exciting.
stuff.
Oh,
It's pretty exciting.
Have a big new show mug to drink out of.
Yes, you won't have to be using that baby blue mug of yours, which, I think is fine. Just another update here. I do have shows coming up. This Saturday night, I will be at the Shore Club in Spring Lake, New Jersey. 8 o'clock show. If you guys try to buy tickets through my website, it's going to take you to their site. It takes you to a calendar, and it says pick a date. There's only one date that you can pick, but it doesn't say anything on Saturday the 26th. It's the only date that you can select, but there's nothing listed. Click on that, and that'll take you right to where you can buy tickets. So, yeah, the Shore
So
Club.
they're new. They're sorting things out.
Yeah, they're
We
just
know
sorting
all-
things out.
We know all about that.
This is literally their first show at this place. So if you guys are in Jersey and you're fans, please come enjoy the show. It's going to be fun. Looks like a super nice place. But yeah, there's some more dates after that. In April, I'll be out in Spokane. April 22nd and 23rd, I'll be back at the Spokane Comedy Club in Spokane, Washington. What's the next one? Summit City Comedy Club in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Fort Wayne, Indiana, here I come, man. I've never done shows in Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
My great-grandfather lived there.
Did he?
Late in his life, he lived there for a while, yeah.
Oh.
And he lived to be 100 years old.
Wow. Good air there.
Yeah, he swore by mashed potatoes.
Oh.
Grandpa Wally. Wallace J. Willard,
There you go.
my great-grandfather. Then I got those Chicago shows, the D.C. improv shows. There's also going to be Tacoma, Washington. There's going to be Ridley's up in Royal Oak, Michigan. I'm going to be doing a weekend at Caroline's here in New York City. I'm going to be doing shows in Rochester at some point. Comedy at the Carlson. Spoke to my man up there, Mark Ippolito, good guy, owns and runs that club. So yeah, more and more dates coming up, guys. They will be on the website as ticket links come in. We should have the link up for tickets for Spokane very, very shortly. But yeah, back on the road, doing shows. Feels great, but it's also great to be home. Let's do another drive-by. I think it's time for another drink.
Yeah, let's have a drink.
It's time for you to drink your drink, folks. If you're at home, if you're wherever you are listening and or watching from, take a sip of your beverage and toast yourself. You just got through a shitty couple of years and you deserve to have a drink. And toast yourself, because it sucked for a lot of us. I'm sure it did for you on some level as well. Good to be pulling out of it now.
I feel like everybody's feeling a little flat this time of year, too.
You feel like people are feeling a little bit flat at this particular time of year?
I do. It's just, I've been talking to people, and I think it's the winter. I think it's
Yeah,
here
winter,
in the northern hemisphere.
winter gets old around this time.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know?
We're all ready for the spring. It's just like...
Unless you're Canadian and living in this area, then it's like, it's not that bad. So,
like, what are you talking about?
yeah, he's like, I got a good friend, Canadian, relocated, lives here in Jersey, and he's always like, I could handle more winter, you know. I'm like, yeah, well,
Wow.
you're like several hundred miles south of what you're used to, so this
Yeah.
isn't so bad for you, you
Yeah.
know. I just get tired of not being able to do the stuff outside that I want to do. You know?
Yeah. I think it gets repetitive, and like whatever you're doing,
Mhm.
we're all ready to change it up. And
Well, it's harder when you get these weird warm days too. You get a
Yeah.
taste of it, and then you're like, okay, let's do spring. You know, the trees are like, let's do spring. It's like, Like, nope, and now it's going to snow again this weekend, I think. So
I think they've been saving me those weird warm days, just being able to get out a little bit and do something. I attacked the bushes.
You
when-
attacked the bushes.
when-
What did they do? They were asking for it, no doubt. It wasn't unwarranted. They must have been looking at you funny.
When you went away. They were, well, I attacked the stuff that was growing in there that shouldn't have been.
Right, I know. The wild,
I know you know.
the wild stuff that you want to get rid of.
Hmm.
You did a heck of a job.
Thanks.
There's a pile of evidence that needs to be thrown into the waste area.
Yeah, I wore myself out and didn't get to that.
We have a waste area, folks, which means we have a place where we pile all the yard junk.
Mm.
And eventually it becomes compost and good soil. And
Oh, beautiful soil.
yeah, it's going to be good stuff.
Yeah.
So, on that note, I don't know how I'm going to segue from weird, weird yard stuff to weird news. Let's hear that story.
Okay, babe.
Let's hear that story about this stress coach with a unique or strange way for releasing his client's angst. It's the Weird, Wild, Wacky Wednesday Weekly World News with Emma Gleeson. And I'll be here listening and interrupting as usual.
Okay, so there's a stress coach in Turkey,
Okay.
and
In Turkey.
yes, and this
Right.
is where I want you.
Just one. If you're in Turkey, good luck. Relax. There's only one stress coach. Obviously, I'm kidding.
I wonder, like, I've never heard of a stress coach.
Yeah, part of my initial reaction was like, what exactly is a stress coach? I have to assume that it's someone who keeps you from being stressed. They're not teaching you how to be more stressed. Stress coach almost sounds like could be that.
Honestly, I don't think anyone can teach you not to be stressed. I think they can just teach you how to deal with it better, right?
Right. I assume that's what a stress coach is doing.
Yeah.
Here's what you need to do.
Or
Masturbate 3 times a day.
Everyone's going to have stress in their life.
Drink Stella. Smoke weed. Stand on your head. Do yoga.
Put Ben up on the screen.
You're feeling self-conscious again.
No, it's just like you're talking a lot and you're not up there. And
Stop giving me camera cues. I'm running this part of the show. Besides, it's all set for your news picture with just you.
Oh, I don't want the news picture yet.
I know, but
Okay.
I'm ready for when you do.
All right. He just lets his clients just hit him, and he doesn't hit back. He just like lets them take out all their anger and angst and stress and hate and whatever on him physically.
That's amazing. That is so not what I thought it was going to be, and so much better than anything I thought it might be. He's like, I'll be your punching bag.
Yeah, just
Literally and figuratively.
yeah, wail on me. It'll be fine. Like he just takes it all. And he's been doing this for a decade now. So
Wow.
yeah.
And I put the picture up, and he's just black and blue. He is just
Whoa.
beat to shit.
It's funny. Yeah.
So wait, should I put the picture up then?
Yeah, go.
All right, here's the picture, folks. Oh, there he is.
So
Well,
he
that's not
says-
a really good fit, that helmet. It's like over his eyes. She kind of looks like she's just touching that to his face for the photo. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
He's like, okay, so you can relax today. I know he's in Turkey and he doesn't sound like that, but his picture kind of makes me think that he does. You just go ahead, punch me in the face. No, it's okay. Susan, go ahead, just punch me in the face. It's going to be fine. As long as you relax, you just punch me all you want until you feel better.
So most of his clients suffer from depression or anxiety and panic attacks.
Right.
But it's kind of funny. He said he also, like, if they have a boss or a spouse or somebody who's really making them angry and the cause of their stress,
Right.
that they could tape a picture of the person
Right.
onto him as
I
well.
thought you'd say he'll go get him and drag him in there.
I don't know.
Here he is.
That's what I really wanted a picture of. Like, does he like put it over his mask? Does he put it like on his chest? Like, where does the picture go? Like, is it on their face so he looks like them? And
He
then...
dresses up and he goes, kick my ass. Go on, kick my ass. which is tonight's movie quote, folks. Kick my ass. Go ahead. Kick
Oh.
my ass.
Ah. Interesting.
I'll give you the character's name. Well, I shouldn't. So yeah, I'm happy to work that movie quote in there. That's a fun one. And we were
Nice.
just talking about it after hockey last night, that movie.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah, and the guy who plays the role came up in conversation not too long before that. Interesting how these things fall together.
It is,
so,
isn't it?
so yeah, stress coach who lets them beat him up. And they
Stretch coach Hassan Riza Ghanay.
Hassan Riza Ghanay.
Yes.
Okay.
Says that
If you guys want to look him up, there he is. Be funny if he was like, if there's someone that you're really angry with or you really don't like, you can put their picture on my face. And his clients pull out a picture of him. I've
I
got
thought
one.
You were gonna
It's
say,
you.
Like, no, your face is fine.
Yeah, no, you're good. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, no, it's fine. I'll hit you. You
Wait.
son of a...
Well, he's a licensed stress coach, and
Right, what does that mean? That's like life coach. Some people are like, I'm a life coach.
I don't know.
I'm licensed. Like, is there a school?
Yeah, but
is
maybe
there like
in Turkey it's different. I don't know.
I'm sure it's very different in Turkey.
But he based his
Turkey based. Did you just say those two things back to back? Time to baste the turkey, everyone. You must baste every 12 minutes. Cook it 400 for 17 hours and baste every 12 minutes. Sorry, go ahead,
Are
babe.
you movie quoting again, or are you just
No, I'm just riffing on
charactering?
the fact that you
Okay.
said turkey and based.
He didn't base it actually. He he's
Sorry,
he
babe.
was inspired by a comedy actor,
Oh, great.
a well-known Turkish comedic actor,
Oh,
um,
Borat?
who voluntarily lets himself get beaten in these movies.
Wow.
So I'm pretty curious about that.
That's dangerous. I used to do a bit about narcolepsy where I would just fall down on the stage in the middle of the bit and
Did you
pretend I'm falling
really?
asleep, and I would just fall. Literally just fall forward.
Jeez
Wham!
Louise.
And I was pretty good at it, but after a while I was like, all right, that's enough. I can't do that bit forever.
Oh my god.
So that he's brave, that actor.
That's what Chaplin started off doing. We were watching that documentary.
Yeah, great documentary.
So good on him.
A couple of weird, overproduced little like video aspects of it where you're like, oh my god, stop doing that. It's making me insane.
Yeah,
but I thought it was really good.
so good. We got halfway through where it started to get a bit depressing, and then
Yeah, we're like,
we stopped. We haven't watched. We should go back and watch the second half
all these biopics.
when we're in the mood for depression.
It's like, don't watch a biopic of someone that you like or idolize. As you get halfway through, you'd be like, oh my god, he was an asshole. I had no idea. He was such a douche.
Yeah.
Documentaries ruining people's idols one at a time. But so he kind of borrowed from this actor who lets.
Yeah, and people worry, like, isn't he going to get hurt and stuff? But like he said that about 70% of his clients are women.
Right.
He only takes on says he has to feel right about them before he takes them on.
Right, which means they're small and weak enough that they can't hurt him
Yeah,
while they're beating the crap
because
out
I
of him.
feel like he said that their strength is the equivalent of a 12 to 14-year-old boy, which I thought was a bit insulting. But then I read the thing about he has to feel right about who they are, and I found that picture online
Yeah.
of him, and I'm like, yeah, well, you're in the...
They have to feel right. He tests their strength. I bet they're going to be
Plus
hitting
he-
harder next week,
plus
after
he's
they
got
read
all
that article.
Stuff on.
The strength of a 12-year-old boy. Some of those women would be like, all right, buddy.
Oh, I can hit a lot. I could hit harder when I was that
You could hit
age
harder than the
those.
12-year-old boys when you were a 12-year-old girl.
Yes.
Yeah. And they learned that the hard way, if
And
I
when
remember the
when
story
I was
correctly.
14, well, not the hitting, but the
No, the strength.
the arm wrestling.
Oh, arm wrestling.
Yeah,
That's right.
I
Yeah.
remember that. I was one of the boys in class. We were talking about.
Huh?
Oh my goodness, this dog tonight.
Let him go. Let it out, Sparks. Don't keep it in.
Oh, Papa. He's having a needy day today.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you this new information. Sparky the dog is currently howling like a lonely wolf in one of the upstairs chambers. Yeah, he's very howly tonight.
Yeah.
The Sparkle Bark.
The winter's gotten to him too. He's ready to get out.
He is ready. He's ready to go for a stroll at the very least.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah, so
You hit like a girl. They're be like, next week they're going to be hitting him a little bit harder. Here you go, Hassan. Hassan,
but he has also said that he's ready to pass the reins over to someone else, or the gloves.
He's all battered.
He wants to train someone else up in.
I think it's time to hand down tradition to my oldest son, Gritschk.
But yeah, the boys.
Kid's like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, the boys in my class at school when I was in 9th grade. One of them was laughing at another because
you had beaten him in arm wrestling.
Yep.
Right.
And he thought that was hilarious. And I was like, I could beat you too. And he was like, oh. And I was like, come on. So
and?
I did.
And you beat him.
Yeah.
And the two of them just sat there
like,
dejected.
No, go again.
Like, nope, sorry.
I did.
You
I
did.
did.
You beat him again.
Yeah.
He doesn't learn.
I was very happy to show him how handily I could beat him for a second time.
There's a story of my Aunt Mary, who was one of those aunts who she was not my aunt, but we called her Aunt Mary. She was around a lot. She's a good family friend when we kids were younger. There's a story about her. She worked in a plant for years and kept getting passed over for promotions. I might have told this on Working From Home at some point, but and she got fed up. She went in and talked to the manager and said, "Hey, I can do this job as well as any man. How come you're not hiring me for this?" And the guy said, "Oh yeah, you think you can do what the men could do?" He says, "I'll tell you what, we'll arm wrestle for it, and if you beat me, you can have the job." And she said, "All right." When they went out in the cafeteria and everybody gathered around, and one of the other guys was holding my hands, and as soon as he said, "All right, go," she spit in his face, and he went, "Oh," and she slammed his hand down, and she got the job.
I love that story.
I do too. It's amazing.
Oh,
it's amazing. I hope it's true. It's one of those, I can't remember who told me, but it was within my family. It's a great story, whether it's true or not.
So good.
Wasn't it Connor McLaughlin?
Might have been.
Who commented about me being stuck at Oklahoma City Airport, that's saying it was like going to Ikea?
No, Red did.
Oh, it was Red.
I believe.
All right, Red. Well, you reminded me of an old stand-up bit of mine, which we're going to get to in just a few minutes. We'll be right back after this, you guys.
I don't know if you guys have ever been to this place, but it's a dangerous place. You should never go there. If you do, you may find yourself wishing you hadn't, because you don't know if you're ever going to find your way out. You don't know if you're ever going to make it back home. It's a scary place. I think you guys know what it is I'm talking about. It's called Ikea. Yeah, it's a furniture store. A Swedish furniture store, which maybe is pronounced Ikea. That's how we say it. But in Sweden, I think maybe it's pronounced Gefernsteblernstinst. Or Ikea, or cheap furniture that's actually pretty good. It's a huge place. Don't go to Ikea unless you absolutely have to. If there's a furniture item that's Swedish and inexpensive, but relatively stable and very simply nice looking in a way, and probably a lot smaller than it looks in the picture, then go to Ikea. But other than that, well, or meatballs, if you want meatballs. If you can find your way through the giant human maze that is Ikea and get to the meatballs without stopping to look at any kind of strangely named end table or foldable couch or like surprisingly nice kitchen cabinets and like whole kitchens and offices and living rooms, and how do you get from this one to the next one? I don't know. Ask somebody. Ask someone who works here. There's people that work here? How did that happen? Here's how it happened. They went in there, much like you, not knowing really what they were after. They just decided to explore. 6 or 7 hours later, they're exhausted because they've been telling people where things are, because they know, because they've been in there for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Then you fall asleep in a chair with some like Skolnick. You fall asleep in a Skolnick chair. Put your phone on the blurgen, and you conk out, right? Next thing you know, you wake up, you're wearing an Ikea shirt, and you're the manager. Now you're the manager of Ikea, which I don't know if I could handle. It's like being the mayor of a city. It's too much responsibility. People get lost in there and never come out. You finally fight your way through that entire store. You've got your stuff. It doesn't look at all like the picture that you were picturing in your head or the item that you saw on the floor. It's in a box. It's folded. It's in pieces in a box. And it's heavy as fuck. It's heavy. Why is it so damn heavy? I didn't think the Blurgenst was going to be quite this heavy. So yeah, you load it up yourself, because that's what you do there. You got to back up to the loading dock, get your vehicle up there close. You got to fight for a slot. Everybody's trying to load their oddly named and shaped furniture into their vehicles. They're full of meatballs. Everybody smells a little different than when they went in. When you get that thing home, pull out the directions, and the directions are just a picture of like if you could take all the pieces in the bag of pieces, which, by the way, when you get that bag of pieces out, it says, it's all the hardware, right? It says on the back, do not throw away. You pull out a bag, it's got all the screws and bolts and nuts. Do not throw away. Who's throwing away everything they need to put this thing together? Like, who pulls out the only bag of actual stuff in it? Everything else is particle board with a veneer. Who's pulling that bag out of the main box and just chucking it in the trash? Oh, look at all these nuts and bolts and screws that they put in here by accident. What should I do with them? There's no way they have anything to do with the construction, with the putting together of this confusing item. So yeah, don't throw away all the hardware. Grab another Allen wrench for every piece of furniture. Now, everyone in the world has 17 Allen wrenches. Most people are like, what's an Allen wrench? It's the thing you get with Ikea furniture. One of the weird little things that you get. And then you pull out the directions, and it's one page. There's no words. Not a word, not a single word on it. Even a word like geblornst that you'd never even understood. No words. Just a very basic drawing of everything in the box somehow suspended in air. But not together. Like if you could somehow make it all float in these positions, in this image on the picture, then you could just go and stick it together. It's like if you took that whole thing up and you went wah, and you magnetoed it, and there. That's the directions. Don't throw away the stuff that you need. And here's what it looks like if it was all hovering just a few inches away from itself and counterparts in space. Which is absolutely impossible. Even in Sweden, even in Ikea. Better eat some meatballs and take a long, hard look at that photo. So yeah, don't go to Ikea if you can avoid it. But the furniture is not bad. It's not bad. You know. Meatballs aren't even bad. You know what? I got no problem with you, Ikea. I'm still not coming. But you're all right. All right, I'm coming for some meatballs. I've been talking about them so much now, I really want some Ikea meatballs. I'm going to head over there now and grab some Ikea meatballs. Good night, everybody. Thanks for listening. Stick around for what's his name?
So that's the Ikea bit. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We're still working on the way we're doing it. Emma supplying the laugh track there, like the good old days in the world of working from home. We're live from Vic's again, you guys. This is where we base everything, where everything originates from live at Vic's bar, including our final segment for tonight's show, which I think you guys know is called Sunday. Every single day, especially Sundays, is one, if not several, bizarre holidays. If you get a calendar up of those holidays, you can keep track of them along with us. We like to celebrate them. Wednesday is Sunday here at the Big News Show. So let's celebrate. What have we got, babe? Today's some weird holidays, no doubt. What are they? Lay them on me.
First of all, that was Con that
Con made the IKEA reference?
Yeah, and Red had a question that I will give you next week about your most ridiculous travel story.
Okay, cool. Good reference, Con. It made me remember my silly IKEA bit of years ago after we actually went to IKEA and were traumatized by the experience. Still smell like meatballs.
Oh my God, it was so bad.
We were in there for so long. And we finally got to the thing we wanted. We were like, oh my God, it's half as big as we thought it was going to be.
Oh, it's awful.
But so, yeah, what are the holidays for today, babe?
Okay, so we have I Hate Coriander Day.
I Hate Coriander Day.
Yep.
Boy, somebody really hates coriander.
Yep.
Now, coriander, that's the same as cilantro, right?
Yes, I just realized. Yeah.
I love cilantro.
Coriander doesn't sound strange to me.
Right, but here people say cilantro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here people refer to the seeds as being coriander. So
Coriander seeds, but the plant is cilantro. Yeah,
usually.
Interesting.
So
it's a little differences.
Yeah, so
I don't know about Europe, it's a little differences.
That being
That's
said,
another movie quote. Sorry, babe.
That being said, I'm wondering what they're referring to. Whether it's the seed or the... This makes a bit more sense maybe now. Okay, so there's a Facebook group.
This is a Facebook group that hates coriander.
Yeah, that was the start of this.
Okay.
And it's got like more than 200,000 people.
Wow.
In it.
I'm going to start one for sun-dried tomatoes.
Well, coriander is kind of uniquely hated because they did a study that showed that around 10% of people really hate it.
Huh.
And the reason they hate it so much is it tastes like soap to them.
Soap?
Yeah. So
maybe if you're using cilantro soap.
And it's because of a gene that they have. That's what they think.
They think they have a special gene that makes coriander taste like soap?
Yep. The gene is called OR6A2.
Well, it sounds like they more than think they have it. So they have an OR6A2?
Yeah, they think it could be the cause, but I'm like, this seems pretty specific.
That is so weird.
Yeah, and it affects the olfactory receptors.
I don't know why I'm making a note of that gene. Later I'm going to look in my genes and see if I have that one. So weird. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, but
I Hate Coriander Day.
Yeah, and
there's a lot of people participating.
Yeah, and they say that the majority of them are of European ethnicity, and the word
of European descent.
Chorus actually means stink bug.
Oh.
In Greek.
If you're American when you go into the bathroom, and you're American when you come out, what are you while you're in there? European. Oh, it's so silly. It's funny because Europeans would come to the U.S. and taste root beer and say that tastes like...
That's sarsaparilla.
Toothpaste.
Right? Oh, because they put sarsaparilla in their toothpaste there.
I don't know.
I think.
I never heard of sarsaparilla unless it was it was another movie quote.
Or maybe
you got any
maybe
sarsaparilla behind that bar?
Wow. Okay. So many movie quotes.
I know that's too many.
Have you given the answer to the kick my ass one?
No, I haven't, but I'll give it now if we deem it appropriate.
I wrote that down so you wouldn't forget.
Because I always forget what they are.
Yeah. Especially after you've done.
Kick my ass is from This Is Spinal Tap.
Oh.
Artie Fufkin is the character's name.
Yeah.
Artie Fufkin, Polymer Records. Go ahead, just kick my ass. Kick my ass. And it's the role is played by Paul Schaefer, strangely enough.
There you go.
The next one was very quick. It's Little Differences is from Pulp Fiction. You know what's interesting about Europe? It's Little Differences.
I didn't pick
You know what
that.
they put on their French fries over it? Mayonnaise. You drown them in that shit. So that's Pulp Fiction, John Travolta, Vincent Vega.
That's Vega.
Vincent Vega. You do a very good impression of Uma Thurman's impression of John Travolta.
Thank you.
And then I did a very good one of your impression of her doing an impression of him.
Wow.
That was insane. And then the last one, Sarsaparilla, is Sam Elliott sitting at the bar in none other than The Big Lebowski.
Okay.
So that's 3 movie quotes for you
Wow.
guys.
Goodness me.
I don't know his character name. Oh my gosh. What have I done? So we have I Hate Coriander Day.
Yeah, people take it so seriously that the people in the group have threatened to publicly shame any restaurants
How do you publicly shame a restaurant?
that don't clearly state on their menus that there's coriander in the dish.
As a warning
Yeah.
to these people who
So that's
don't want to taste soap in
yeah.
their tacos.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I think it's on you guys to know.
I thought that
It'd
was
be
a
pretty
little
frustrating.
extreme, but I'm thinking it's not. Maybe it's not just the green herb part cilantro. It's the coriander.
It's the seeds.
Yeah, coriander.
Because they do
seeds.
use them as cooking agents, right? They put the seeds into
Oh
a...
yeah,
yeah,
and a lot
yeah.
of food. But I think
Well, I feel for them. Nobody likes to get a taste of something and go, oh,
yeah,
so nice to be out to dinner. And then
must be bad. But like publicly shaming them,
publicly shaming, I don't really understand exactly what that means other than you've created a Facebook page because you hate coriander so much. All right, what else have we got?
Okay, so we have International Sword Swallowers Day.
International Sword Swallowers Day.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a swallower of international swords, how many people could participate in that one? How many are...
They just want respect. They say that
Well, fair
other
enough.
entertainers don't get the same kind of respect, and it's also
Wait, they're saying they don't get the kind of respect that other entertainers get?
yes,
Yeah. Sword swallowers.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm not saying anything. I don't know anything about what it takes to swallow a sword.
I don't see a lot of them around, but when
They should
if
unionize.
I do, I'm pretty like
They want respect. They should unionize.
lots of respect for me.
All 8 of them. How many are there? How
I'm
many
not-
could there be?
I'm not going up and patting them on the back when they're in the middle of.
No, that's dangerous. You never hit them while they've got a sword in
Oh
there.
God. But it also
How many could there be, honestly? Worldwide, random guess, how many sword swallowers do you think there could be in the world? Like 100? How many? Like, how many people are...
I don't know. I think in
I
time,
have no idea, but it can't be a huge number.
No, I think in times gone by, it was a bigger thing when there were less forms of entertainment.
Yeah, well, sure, yeah.
Dates back to 2000 BC.
Wow.
But not so many these days. Well, I don't remember when I last saw a sword
I don't recall.
swallowing.
I can't remember. I can't either. I don't think I've ever seen one, like, for real. I've seen a video of one or, seen it in a show. Oh,
Yeah.
Sparks. Chiming in again, Sparkle Boo.
So much. Oh, buddy. Okay, we're nearly there.
We interrupt this broadcast to inform you that Sparky is again howling from one of the upstairs rooms.
I think he only howls when I'm talking.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
like, that's not true. There are sword swallowers all over the world who deserve our respect. He just hears your voice. Yeah, I guess he hears us and he wants to be down here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm willing to give it up for the sword swallowers.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one in a long time. But mad respect from me, man. I don't know how you guys do that.
Yeah.
And we shall celebrate you today somehow. Maybe. We'll just announce it on the show. All right, cool. That's
All right.
2, right?
And-
Hate coriander, love sword swallowers.
And then we have National Pokemon Day.
Pokemon Day.
Yeah.
Huh.
It was a big...
So I'm just going to hide around the corner and Pikachu over and over.
That's the perfect way to celebrate it.
How are we supposed to celebrate Pokemon Day? Stare at our
Um,
phones and wander into traffic?
Oh, God.
Remember that?
Okay. Yeah, no. Yes, I do. But-
It's scary stuff.
Okay, so something came out recently. There was a couple of police officers back in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
They got so into it that they didn't take a call
Because they were so preoccupied.
about a robbery.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they chose.
They chose the virtual treasure hunt over
Yeah.
the real life
Yeah, they chose not
people
to
being
respond
robbed
to
and
it.
need your help.
Yeah, and they said, "Oh no, it was too noisy in the park. We didn't hear the call properly."
Mm-hmm.
When they were questioned, and then there was they didn't realize that there was footage in their car and they were being recorded. And so they got dismissed.
Oh, my God. Fired?
Yeah. And then
Wow.
they appealed, and just recently their appeal has been overturned, which I think is great.
So they still didn't give them their job
No,
back.
yeah, they don't get their jobs back. I'm
Wow.
like, that's just, come on.
Well, yeah, if you're playing a video game when someone needs your help while being robbed,
And they were the closest car. They
maybe they could find work as sword swallowers. And we could celebrate them along with everybody else. All right, folks, it's time for Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. This weekend, take the cilantro and throw it out the back door. Don't even go bother to get it because it's I Hate Coriander Day. And take those seeds and chuck them out there, too. Now take a pocket knife or maybe a butter knife and see how far down your throat you can get it before it really sucks. And then develop some appreciation for the International Sword Swallowers Union. Now go out and look for a treasure in the yard that's not really there because it's National Pokemon Day.
Woo! That was great. That was great.
Oh, thank you, babe. I think I pulled it out there at the end. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for the Big News Show, Episode 6. We'll be here same time, same place next week doing the same thing. Hope you guys can join us then as well.
Leave your viewer questions in the comments below for me.
Leave your viewer questions in the comments below for Emma, she says,
Yeah.
and maybe we'll answer them on the show next week. If you guys go to our website here, my website, which is therealbenbailey.com, you can see that the upcoming shows are listed. Again, I'll be at the Shore Club in Spring Lake, New Jersey this Saturday night. There's links to all the social media on the page, to the Shopify store. If you guys buy something at the Shopify store, some of that money comes to us. Some of that money goes to Share Our Strength. There's lots of cool stuff on there now. And whatever product you choose comes to you. Flipping back over product or products, there's lots of cool stuff on there now. If you guys have any other ideas, something else you want to see in the catalog on the Shopify site, let me know. You know by now that I will put it there for you. Back to the website here. There's some little links up there on the right. You can get to the Patreon page if you guys want to sign up to be a patron. Donate a little money every month toward the production of this show. Every little bit helps. Is there something else? There's Venmo if you want to leave me a tip, like David Kowalski does every week, most weeks, almost every week.
Thank you, Kowalski.
Thank you, Dave, for that. The rest of you guys, thank you very much for watching. Oh, go to the if you're not already subscribed on the YouTube channel, please subscribe now. Like it, share it. Anything you guys could do to help us grow this on YouTube would be greatly appreciated. That's it for episode number 6 of The Big News Show. We will see you next time.
All right, everybody, that's it for episode 6. Thank you so much for watching The Big News Show, episode number 6 with me, Ben Bailey, and of course, the lovely and talented Miss Emma Gleeson. No Kieran tonight. He had strep throat. I wonder if he's using antibiotics or if he's going to let his own immunity fight it off. There's my name again. I must be in the show a lot. And there's new guy Kieran, even though he's not here. We did not update the outro graphics, but it is still the Big News Show, episode 6, and this is the end of it. Next week, we're going to have a lot of the same stuff that we had this week, we have every week, and maybe some new stuff. We'll be live from Vic's Bar, absolutely. There'll be boxing Ben's, which we did not get to tonight, but next week, I'll be fighting myself again. We'll definitely have a Weird, Wild, Wacky Wednesday Weekly World News story from Emma, as well as some movie quotes, as well as some viewer questions. Sunday, of course, that is the staple, even though it's Wednesday. Wednesday is Sunday at the Big News Show. All that and much, much more on next week's Big News Show. See you then. Bye.